All right. Hello, everybody. It's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Cheers. Very, very excited today. I am chatting with Angus Norder, also known as Angst, from two very, very cool bands, two bands I really enjoy a lot, Necrocraft and Witchery, two Swedish extreme metal bands. So very, very excited to have you here today, Angus. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you.
How you doing? How are things going?
Yeah, it's going good. It's been a good day and a good night's sleep.
Oh, good. Very good. Excellent. So why don't we talk about kind of what you're up to right now? And I know on the Facebook page, your page, as well as on the Witchery page, there's been a lot of posts, both video and photographs of you guys recording. So which obviously means there's a new album in the works, as I'm assuming. And how long have you guys been working on that, and kind of what's the target date? What do you what can you tell me about the new album?
I don't know. I mean, it's I haven't heard like the end production yet. So we have recorded most of the parts. I need to fix some of the vocal parts because some stuff didn't end up working very well with the finished production. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just correcting small stuff with the vocals to make it perfect.
Nice.
So
you guys have do you have a target release date? Are you looking at sometime in the new year and early in the new year, or
not this year anyways? That's the only thing I can say. So it won't happen, but I think the mix will be done about around New Year.
Okay.
So I don't know when it's going to get released.
Very cool. Yeah. Does it have? Do you guys already have an album title at this point, or are you still kind of working on that, or can you even talk about that yet? I know sometimes.
Yeah, that's no problem. It's it's out. It's called Night Side Superstar.
Oh, okay.
So cool. It's also tongue in cheek,
nice.
Like the beers.
Nice
albums.
Very cool. Yeah. I love it. That's great. Very cool. What can you tell me about the album? Is it kind of a continuation of the sound from the last album, from I Am Legion, or are you kind of going that same vein? Are you doing anything different with it this time around?
After I was done with putting on the vocals on the tracks, when I wrote the last track, it's called Night Side Superstar. It dawned on me that this album is it's more like a trip. It's an endeavor going out to, and it's going all from very atmospheric stuff to very fast-paced thrash, and to a bit of more heavy death metal-like stuff also.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's what do you call it? It's a themed album. So it's the first track is starting the story, and then it continues all throughout these 12 songs.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, kind of a concept album, essentially.
Yeah, concept album. Yeah.
Very cool. And I guess, Witchery really hasn't done that before. I mean, there's been, some inner, themes that'll intertwine through albums, but I don't know if I can't think of. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't think of Witchery having done a concept album in the past. At least not one that's, a full story. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember.
No, but that's true. We haven't done that before, so
very cool.
It's well, we got our mastermind called Potter Jensen. So I mean, it's really good at doing the riffs, doing the things up in his head, and the production value is it's really high when you arrange the songs.
Nice. Yeah, definitely.
It's the best I worked with.
Very cool. So with as far as the writing goes, it's particularly with this new album that you guys are working on. So what is the writing process kind of like? Is it as a collaborative effort with the band, or is it, somebody coming up with a riff and then you guys get together and kind of play around with that, or how does that kind of come about?
I would say Jensen is cooking up the songs and presenting it, and then we have some. Then he asks us for what we think about it and the riffs, if we want to change anything. And the first batch of songs were pretty much changed a lot. Then we had to rehearse. Went up to Stockholm. I live in Linköping. It's 20 kilometers, something. And then we just no, it's 20 miles, Swedish miles.
Okay.
So it's more. But it's we just went to rehearsal and rehearsed together. And since I'm doing the vocals and the vocals weren't done, so it was nice to be there in a way. So taking out the drums, finishing off to polish the songs, and then before the studio.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah. So it's basically Jensen's writing the songs and riffs.
Okay.
Very cool. So he is the key. He's the key in Witchery.
And you joined Witchery in it was what, around 2016. So the first album you were on was in his Infernal Majesty's Service, which came out in 2016. So you joined. How did you get involved with Witchery originally? Did you try out? Because I know their previous singer Legion left the band, and did you try out? Did they seek you out? Did they know about you?
The thing is, it's one vocalist in between there also.
Oh, okay. That's
so
right.
It's, Caligula, I think. From now it's just escaping my mind here. Dark Funeral.
Yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. So but he was just in the band for a short while, and he got some problems and he couldn't really make it. So, and the album was recorded, but they didn't have any vocalists. So, and I know the other guitarist called Richard Rimfelt since before. So he knew us was singing in Necrocraft. So he's just give the tips, like, let's call him and ask if you want to try out. So I got the call. And, I tried a couple of songs. They liked it. Then I got the gig.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, and yeah. Thankfully, you got the gig. Yeah, but definitely for those of us as fans, that was a godsend. That was great. Yeah, I think you're a phenomenal vocalist. Yeah, the
thank you very much.
Last two albums. So you've been on. Well, now it'll be 3 albums with the new album coming out. But yeah, those past 2 albums are great. Very, very cool. Yeah, you've got a great growl. Just a lot of depth in your vocals, which is interesting because it's a with Necrocraft, you've got a different style to some degree with, not to, you could argue it's a little more of a blackened, a little more so maybe than Witchery is. There seems to be more black influence, even though Witchery does delve into some, black metal elements, kind of mixes that in with thrash and death. It feels like with Necrocraft, there's a lot more black going on, which is very cool, kind of in that Swedish tradition of black metal. Especially, before we started recording it, telling you, that, Servant, I really love that album a lot. It's, when that came out, 3 years ago, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe more, maybe 4 years ago. I have no sense of time anymore.
2018. So
okay, 2018. So, that's right. So and you've done 2 albums with Necrocraft, Will-O-Wisp and Servant. And the band Necrocraft, you are one of the founding members of Necrocraft, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
In 2012.
It's me in 2012. Yeah, so it's 10 year next year.
Oh wow, yeah, wow!
So,
congratulations. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, speaking of 10-year anniversaries, it's actually this month is the 10-year anniversary of Brews and Tunes, my page.
Perfect.
So, and you're the first interview of the 10-year anniversary month. So again, thank you for joining me. I'm very excited for that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So what's anything happening right now with Necrocraft? You have, I know you've been very busy with, recording new vocals for Witchery, but you have, have you been doing any writing for Necrocraft? Anything in the works right now?
Yeah, we have written a whole album actually.
Oh,
so
excellent.
It's just we're in the pre-production stage right now. So excellent. We're riffing at home, getting the tunes, so we can just put some drums on it in the rehearsal place, and then we will go from there. I set up a studio in there, so I think will be good.
Yeah, very cool.
So I'm doing all the recordings for Necrocraft also. So
okay,
it's producing, so it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, busy.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, because I know you have, in the past you've done recording and mixing and production as well. Has that always been kind of a passion of yours to be on the production side of things as well? Yeah,
because I get restless. I can't just do one thing. In Witchery it's fine. I just doing vocals and that's good. I don't need to do anything more. It's fine. but in Necrocraft, since I was me and this guy called Timmy was when we started it, and we had a vision. That vision has changed now because we're 10 years ago. I mean, we're 20 there now, 30 plus.
Right.
So, but I still have a vision that I want to do my stuff, my thing, and I don't have a Witchery because I think that's Witcher stuff, and I wasn't there from the beginning,
Right.
so doesn't really matter there. But for Necrocraft's sake, I need to be there, and I need to grow as a musician and a person, I guess.
Okay.
So I'm using this as my project to enhance myself.
Nice.
Going forward. Yeah.
That's very cool. I like that. As far as I was curious, as far as kind of Necrocraft and well, I'm both bands really, but as far as your vocals and your songwriting and production work, like who's been kind of your inspiration? Who were the musicians that inspired you as a vocalist, and you know, what were you listening to in your early days of, you know, kind of growing up, and you know, kind of how did you originally get into metal?
Yeah, the thing is, I wasn't really listening to any music when I grew up. It's pretty sad when I think about it now. But when I was I don't know how old I was, maybe 15, 14, maybe I started to listen to metal. It was Metallica, because my dad played in a cover band, and he rehearsed Enter Sandman, and I woke up just one morning and heard Enter Sandman. What is this? It was like an epiphany. I was like, I need more of this. And then I picked up the bass, started to play. I didn't know what I did. I just played the bass, and after a while, I get a hang of it. And my dad taught me. So, and I started a band. And from that point on, we just keep on going. But from the beginning, I played in been playing in pop bands. I've been playing in just regular rock bands or punk bands, and metal also. A lot of different styles of metal. So it's been a long trip. I've been in like 25 bands or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I have 1,000 of projects, and there's a lot of songs in different genres, and yeah. I haven't done anything with those stuff, but it's been really good for the creative process to see something else and try it out and just get forward. As an artist.
Have you ever considered recording any of that stuff, or are you putting it out there publicly?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, like the stuff when I learned how to use the studio from the beginning. It was 2007 when I was going to a special school in Sweden. We have it's called Folkhögskola. It's just yeah, well, it was we call college, after college school, and we lived on the school, so it was like a boarding school also. Oh, okay. And then they had a little studio with a computer, some cracked programs, and like Easy Drummer, the first one. And then we went down there and just played, and it's recorded with shitty sounding guitars and bad productions. But it was real fun, and just laid the groundwork for what was to come.
Nice,
really good. And I've been sitting at home also when I grew up and just played. I'm from the countryside, so I was a lot of just doing. Going around in the forest and stuff when I was small.
Oh, okay. Nice. Very cool. That's cool. And has that, I'm curious if that's, you know, kind of that upbringing, you know, part of, especially with your dad, has that kind of been a big influence in terms of your writing, you know, and also growing up in the country, and, you know, with, as I know that's kind of it's always been kind of a black metal theme, is nature, you know, at least with a lot of the Scandinavian bands. As I was kind of growing up in that area, was that kind of part of the influence for you?
It could be, because I wanted to return to the countryside now, like have a house and build it up from the ground, I think. Just having isolation, I guess.
Right.
From, and self-sustainable stuff.
Okay,
it's,
cool.
Intriguing, and it's also a challenge that isn't impossible, and also I think it would be very like self-fulfilling to do stuff and make it on your own. And that's also why I think I had the need to have this almost puppet-like state of control over Necrocraft sometimes, because I want to learn and develop, and I need to do it by myself.
Okay.
Almost. So, but that's also a bad thing because I don't. It's been hard to like take criticism or listen to people to get influences. Also, so that's I'm starting to back down on that one now. So it's a little bit easier, and stuff gets better also.
Right.
When you listen to people and get inputs.
Yeah.
That's just stupid just to not listen to anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just anytime there's collaboration, that can always bring out some pretty cool stuff. A lot of cool ideas can, and also it can help transform your ideas into something bigger. I think sometimes if you get at least some feedback. I know, for instance, I paint just as a hobby, and I often will ask my wife to look at things and ask her, like, what's off, what doesn't look right to you, and she'll point out things that I completely missed, that I didn't think about, especially with shading or something like that, or the light source, which so it's kind of cool to have that, get some feedback at least from somebody else that might have a different perspective on what you're doing, and as long as they understand your vision and where you're trying to go with it, they can definitely give you at least some positive, or critical, but positive critical review can be useful, I think, sometimes.
That's important to grow. I think it's needed for human. I mean, socialize and exchange.
Exactly. Exchange of ideas. I agree. So with both bands, with both Witchery and Necrocraft, are there any touring plans at this point, or any shows? Do you guys have anything lined up as far as like festivals or shows there in Sweden?
Nothing official yet. It's been in the process of making the album right now, but for both bands. So we haven't had the time, and since the pandemic, we have been basically locked down. The rehearsal space was like not available to go there for half a year, something. So we haven't. So we've been writing songs. We haven't been able to play together too much. Yeah. So that's why it's all that. Next year is gonna be so much albums. From every fucking band around. Right. It's gonna be a mess. Someone was thinking maybe we shouldn't release next year. Just wait for it.
I don't know. I think that was kind of problematic this year for some, especially some of the American bands, and I think Canadian bands too. There was so much stuff that came out this year. It was, especially as a consumer, for me, it was overwhelming. I bought so much stuff. And I mean, to the point that I even forgot I bought some things, sometimes there was just so much coming out, because, the studios opened back up, early last year or this past year. And it just seems like a lot of bands, at least in America, and they're touring too. There's a lot of shows right now in America. But as you said, Europe's still kind of hit or miss. It seems like kind of where things are happening and where they're not happening.
Yeah, I guess we will have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, and especially variants.
We will release 2 albums next year, I guess. One for Necrocraft and one for Witchery. That's the goal. Yeah, excellent. Witchery will be released. Necrocraft, I hope so.
Yeah, that would be great. Do you have a working title for the Necrocraft album?
It's called I don't know how it's pronounced really. It's the Wyrm. Wyrm? Is it Wyrm? Like a snake, but a worm.
Worm.
Yeah, it's called Worm. So the Worm of Eden.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the title right now, anyways.
Worm of Eden, nice. I like that. Very cool, very cool. And then with and as you said, you haven't really started recording yet with Necrocraft, but Witchery is almost done. Are you guys going to be releasing a single soon for Witchery?
I have no idea actually. I haven't gotten input on. I think when it's done, it's going to get shipped into the process, and then since we have Central Media, still they are pretty fast at distributing the stuff.
Okay.
Just I don't know where. 2016 when I started with Witchery, I had 2 weeks, I think, to record the album.
Oh wow!
After I get the gig, it was pretty. They are really fast in the process, and it's just Necrocraft has been working on the album for 1 year, Witchery is working 1 month and it's done. So it's a big difference.
Yeah.
So I had 2 weeks, and then I put it down. It was good, and then it was mixed, I think that was like August or something, and then it was Infernal Meista Service was released around November, I think.
Okay.
In its full, that's 4th of November or 5th of November or something, and it's just a couple of months from mixed to delivered in the stores. That's pretty fast for me, at least. Because when Necrocraft is when I'm talking to our label, Design Records, they are like, at least 6 months. We need to promote albums 6 months with singles and music videos. Then we're gonna release the full album, like physical. So it's a big difference.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess it works though.
Yeah, I think that's it's interesting how different people have a different take on kind of that structure, that schedule, that process of scheduling, because I've seen where a few fire out pretty quickly, and then other stuff it's kind of a slower process. I don't know what's better. I don't know what works better. I mean, as a fan, it's great to get stuff, quickly, but it's also that anticipation is also, exciting as well, knowing that something very, because right now that you've told me that Worm of Eden is going to be coming out in the next year, I'm very excited for that. So as I said, I thought Servant was a fantastic album, from start to finish. It's one of those albums too, for me, that I put it on, and once it ends, I restart it, because it's like there's so many cool nuances with that album. It seems like every time I hear it, I hear something new. There's a
lot of layers. That's important for us. We like details, and that what you pinpoint now, the thing that's, listen to it one more time and you hear, oh, I didn't hear that stuff the last time, and just so you can experience the album a lot of times, and it's always fresh in some sense, at least.
Is that
perfect?
It sounds like that's kind of by design, where when you go in looking to build a lot of song structure, a lot of layer around what you're doing. That's cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's important, because otherwise I would be bored of the songs myself, and then it wouldn't be nice to perform them live. I mean, so I don't want to get stuck with one with wonder stuff and just play one fucking song, last thing you do every time. And people just waiting for that song to play.
Yeah, right. I agree.
It's not fun. It should be a package.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to Necrocraft, not to a single song.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of the thing with, even releasing singles, because I'm an album guy. I like album. I like to listen to an album, not necessarily and I think especially in today's age with, radio stations not being as prevalent as they used to be in the past. Like when I was a kid, you listen to all the hits on the radio station, and now it's you buy an album and you're half the time you don't even know like what the single is, or you may have missed it. So it's for me, I'm just listening to the album as a whole piece of music in a lot of ways. I've never really understood the and there's nothing wrong with it, but I've never kind of understood the people that just listen to like particular tracks of bands. They don't listen to an album, and I'm sure they think I'm weird because I sit down and listen to an entire album. It's rare that I just listen to one track from somebody. I'm like I said, I'm an album guy. I like albums.
What do you think about like music videos then?
Well, they're interesting, I guess. I mean, it's I guess that's the problem, is it always kind of leaving me wanting more, because it ends.
But then you can go and put on the album, like
so
it's a good tease. Perhaps.
Yeah, it is a good tease. It definitely is a good tease, especially for new music. It's great to, and I do love it when, like bands like, Witchery or whomever, when they do especially release a new single before the album's out, to kind of wet your whistle, get you excited about what's coming. It's just frustrating when it takes forever. Sometimes, because I can't remember, there was somebody, it was recent too. They released a single like 6 months before the album came out. And it was
a long time.
Yeah, that was rough. that was hard. And I know, one of your bandmates, Charlie from, he's also in Arch Enemy. They've released, I think, 2 singles from their new album, but they have not released a release date yet, or they haven't put out a release date for the actual album. So I don't know when that's coming out.
Yeah, that's weird. That is weird. I mean, I think that I know a lot of music lovers, especially in this genre with hard rock and stuff. It's vinyl is like some golden stuff here, at least in Sweden. I mean, you want to buy the album, you have to hold it in your hands, you have it. So it's like singles. But I mean, did they release any like physical singles, like 7 inches or something?
They might have. I know they put out a video, and for the they have a new song. You know, it'll be on the album. I don't even know what the album's called. But they may have put out a single, like a 7-inch. I'm not sure. I think they may have. Through I can't remember who they're on. Are they on Century Media as well?
Yeah, they are. They were, at least last time I checked. So
yeah, I think
I think so. Yeah.
So
that's also a big difference between our way of doing it and theirs, I guess.
Yeah.
With Witchery, just bam, it's out.
And
I guess it's different audience also. I mean, if you like Witchery and you want to buy and you want the album, then we shouldn't hold it too long. But I mean, I think Arch Enemy is a wider spectrum of audience and not as narrow as maybe Witchery and Nekrokraft. So a lot of the younger people, at least listening to Spotify, like Spotify generation stuff, they just want one track, one hit, and then next track. So if it's a whole album at once, maybe it will get all overwhelming to the degree that they won't listen to it at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just the top song.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's easy if we see it like if I look at our stats from Spotify, it's always the first song or the first track at every album is played the most times.
Oh, really?
And then it just drops all the way. So if you put a song at the bottom, not many people can hear it. On Spotify, at least.
Right. That's unfortunate. People don't have the attention spans to listen to the entire album.
That's true.
Because sometimes you find, I mean, it seems like it's true. I don't know if this is true for you, but for me, it seems like oftentimes, like even in the past, like, big albums, even pop albums, when I was a kid, when I'd buy the album, oftentimes I'd find a track on the album I liked better than the single, that was released.
Yeah.
And it, nobody knows that song if they're just somebody, like you said, just listens to Spotify, just listens to that, if they don't dig deep into the album, deep tracks or deep cuts, as some people call it. But anyway, yeah, that's funny. And I wonder, I would imagine it's also partly the record companies that kind of, like Century Media, maybe they're like saying, okay, we're going to release it in this format or this timing. Whereas, with smaller,
profitable.
Yeah. Looking at numbers. So, which makes sense. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Interesting. Okay. So as far as, we were kind of chatting about live, playing live, I was curious, for both bands, both Witchery and for Necrocraft, what are your favorite songs to play live? Personally, what do you like? What do you enjoy singing?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about it, actually. I think it isn't even our song, but it's we do a battery cover called Satan My Master for Necrocraft.
Oh, cool.
And that's also always, we have it like an extra. If we have time left or and the audience want more, we just kick it in. Cool. It's a fast paced 2 minutes, a couple D beats and some blast beats, and it's done. Nice. And it always like, that's the place where I just all the last energy that is on the stage is going out, and the audience is also knowing this is the last song. Now it's now or never. So it always get like it gets something in the air, Nice. So it's good. It's good feeling.
Cool. So it sounds like you enjoy performing live then.
Yeah, I do. It's but it's like a double-edged sword because I have like a stage fright also.
Oh, okay, really?
And it's kind of eating me inside at the same time. Right. So it's on stage, like a couple songs in, it's perfect, it's fine. And afterwards, it's the best thing ever. So, but sometimes I just want to get done with it when I'm on stage also. But it's not so much anymore. I'm coping with it, and it's fun. I like to be at stage, and I want to, and I need to express myself in that kind of ways, like being theatrical or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's but it has been a trip, I can tell you that. The thing is, when I got the gig with Witchery, and the first song was going to release. I think it was Nosferatu was the first song we released with a lyric video, and I was getting a lot of anxiety about it because I really didn't know how it's gonna be like. What do you call it? How people's gonna what they are gonna think about it, or I don't know what the word in English though.
Kind of how it will be received.
Received. Yeah, that's it. So I like 2 days I just lay in bed like shaking because it was like so felt so bad because I didn't know. I haven't been in that exposure before.
Right.
Because I just got like a record contract with Necrocraft. I was going to release the first album. And at the same time, before I haven't even released anything, Witchery called me and said, "Hey, you want to be on this?" I said, "Sure, we'll do it." Because I like to say yes.
Yeah.
It's important to say no. No. So we got out there, and it was real good. I mean, it was received really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's still a killer track. I like it. So that's one of the more funnier songs to play live also.
Cool. It's
that one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
It's interesting that that you say that you have stage fright, because I would not have known that, and I haven't seen you personally live, but I've seen footage and then like the videos, and also just how well received that album was, with you as a vocalist. It's in fact, I was just talking with a few people recently about that album, and there were a couple people in the group that I was chatting with that's their favorite Witchery album, of any Witchery album. That's their favorite. They love that album, and I think partly was because of the vocal was definitely a big piece of that, and the change in who was singing. They really enjoyed your work on that, which I thought was cool. But it's funny that you say that you have, I would never have known that because you're very energetic, at least the footage I've seen of you performing live, you're very energetic and, very commanding of the audience in a lot of ways. So it's interesting that, and I'm sure that happens with a lot of musicians. You have no idea, and I guess that's, I've heard some interviews with other people and they talk about how, they're shy and they have stage fright, but they kind of go into a different personality almost on stage. I don't know if that's true for you. It's almost like acting in a way.
Yeah, but it's theater. I mean, if I go out with Necrocraft, I'm not this evil being in my personal life, But it's when on stage, it's just. But at the same time, I don't like this ritual stuff. It's not my kind of cup of tea. It's fine in some degree, but if it's just a long ritual, when people calling their gigs a ritual, I'm not going to go. I want to be there.
Right.
It's nothing for me. Just it's cool with technical stuff, and it's cool with live candles and stuff, but not too much of it.
Right.
Make it. I need it to be mixed, and I guess you can hear that in Necrocraft also. It's not just one thing. It's a lot of stuff going on. I have a lot of influences. So kind of like taking the best part of black metal for me is the atmospheric stuff. Mm-hmm. The atmosphere is coming from black metal and just breathes some kind of satanic horror, and it's theatrical in its own way.
Yeah,
you have the thrash that is just high velocity, high speed, aggression. Just also combined with black metal, it's a lot of like it has like a political force also. Mm-hmm. It's what do we call it? It's what is it called in English? It's eluding me again. It packs a punch, anyways. That's the thing. It packs a fucking punch. So and death metal for the heaviness. So we have the death for the heavy, for the thrash for the velocity, and we have atmospheric and ambience from the black metal, and also from folk music.
Yeah.
Because that's I like folk music bands also. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I always yeah, I think that's one of the things that attracted me to that band, your band, so much, is the fact that, yeah, there are all these elements, and you can hear them all, but they all work really well together, and create something kind of bigger than what they would be if it was just those elements alone, which is what I think is really exciting about the music. And now I'm even more excited about the new album coming out. So I can't wait for that to get recorded and released. That'll be great.
Yeah, we're I think it's the new album. It's more going a little bit back to the roots, I think.
Okay.
So Servants, we had a bass player called Andreas. His name is Andreas, actually, and he couldn't be participate in Necrocraft anymore because he had other stuff he needs to attend to. So we lost him as a co-writer, because it's him, me, and one guy on the team, the guitarist, who was doing all the work on music and writing all the songs. But he has two songs left that is going to be in this album also. So we won't just get rid of everything from him. So it will be a smooth, easy transaction to the new stuff, I guess.
Right.
And me personally, I want to go a little bit faster. I want to, I guess, same thing as before. I just want to challenge myself to break new grounds and make something else. So we have a couple of D beats. We haven't had that before. So it's some hardcore punk influences.
Oh, cool.
In it, and trying to blend that and meld that, and it works very well because it really packs a punch. So that blended with more like fast-paced blast beats, and then go over to this D beat punk stuff, and it's the head is going like this. It's really, really good for headbanging.
Nice. Now, will you be? I know in the early days of Necrocraft, you played guitar and bass. Will you be playing the bass on the new album since you've lost your bass player, or are you going to be hiring a new bass player? Or
I will play guitar,
Okay.
actually.
Oh,
okay.
Album. Cool.
The 6th string, because when our bassist left, our second guitarist took the bass instead.
Oh, okay, interesting, nice.
So we play with like a 7th string and a 6th string guitar. So the guy who played the 7th string took the bass, and the guy who played the 6th string took like the lead guitar, took the 7th string. So I took the 6th string now.
Oh, great.
But it's just for now, and then we will get someone to play it live.
Cool.
So I need to hold my mic. That's it. When I play it live, it's much better, because that's why I left it from the beginning. Because when I did both things, it was like 80% vocals, 80% guitar, not 100% anything. It's not worth it. So it's better to make a good show.
Yeah.
And focus on one thing at a time.
Cool.
I think.
Yeah. Very cool. I love that. That's great. Well, cool. That's exciting. Yeah. Again, I can't wait to hear both the new Witchery and the new Necrocraft album. That's exciting stuff. Well, I don't want to keep you all night, but I did want to ask, I do have another question for you. So as you know, my blog, Brews and Tunes, I pair craft beer with metal, mostly metal albums, but also hard rock and even pop sometimes. So if you were to do a pairing, I was curious, what would you pair? What would your go-to beer be, and what album would you spin?
When I go on to concerts, they look live music anyways. I like easy lagers, like regular beer.
Mm-hmm.
But so I guess a good easy drink beer with some fast-paced music would be good. But I think it depends on the music also, of course.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a hard question. I haven't been thinking about it so much at all. But I guess some Falcon. It's a Swedish lager. It's a light, easy to drink. Cool. It's always good stuff. At least this Falcon Bayersk. It's like an amber. a amber lager, I think. Yeah. So it's a bit mustier, or like
okay.
it's more taste to it, and it's more. It's not just. It's not like water. It's thick, more thick, I guess. So that's good, and it's easy to drink, and it's really it tastes perfect, and it's also very good when low alcohol.
Okay.
So I can drink a lot of it. So that's
Nice.
perfect. And then I guess I could pair that with some Toxic Holocaust.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and then let's get it down in the throat and let's listen to really fast-paced, nice, like black and fresh punk music.
Yeah, I love it. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome.
That's good stuff.
Well, Angus,
I mean, like influences also. It's I need to still state Bathory is one really like important stuff for me.
nice.
I haven't really realized that until now, almost like a couple of years ago. Like this is Bathory is because the shock value from it, like doing something else, and the whole thing. I favor the first 3 albums, and then I don't listen anymore because then it's not my style. So I like really the rough, punky, shitty sound of it, I guess.
Yeah, kind of the lo-fi, recording.
Yeah, and I think that's the black and fresh, or I guess that's just fresh music with atmosphere.
Yeah,
and that's why it's getting black metal also, I guess. So that is important.
It was cool. Really, Bathory, that was really revolutionary, I think, especially for that time. I mean, there was nothing like that. The first time I heard Bathory, I remember thinking like, what is this? This is crazy. Like, but I liked it. I was immediately attracted to the music, but I'm like, what is this? Like, I've never heard anything like this. I mean, I guess, Celtic Frost had some similar, somewhat, but a little more polished, I guess, or, kind of Hellhammer, I guess, Hellhammer stuff's pretty, but even that Bathory stuff's even earlier than that. I think if I might have my timing off, or it's very close timing, as far as when those albums were coming out. But yeah, I always
somewhere in the 80s, early 80s, I guess.
Yeah, I always thought Bathory was, just an incredible musician he was. And visionary in terms of, nobody sounded like that. That was pretty amazing. And now the influence that you hear, with a lot of bands, you can hear it, kind of what he did. That's cool. I love that. That's great.
It is. It's really good. By the way, you said we had released 2 albums with Necrocraft. It's actually 3 albums.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You had a
compilation album, I guess.
That's right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And it's just old songs from 2012, actually. We remastered. We had to just put one mic in the rehearsal space and just recorded them for some of them, anyways. So, but it was the foundation, and it sounds pretty decent anyway. So it's good. Yeah.
Very cool. I need to get my hands on that. I don't have that. I need to find that.
I don't know where it can be found. It's called Witch's Funeral, anyways.
Okay.
That one. And the vinyl for the Will o' the Wisp is I think it's out of stock now. So we should maybe print it one more time, like a second print. Yeah. That's fun. So that's cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah.
Perfect.
It'd be great to get. Yeah, and I collect vinyl, so I would love to get that on vinyl.
Nice.
That would be cool. Yeah, maybe you do some colored vinyl or something, to kind of psychedelic or streaked or whatever. That'd be kind of cool to do something like that. Well, awesome. Well, Angus, thank you so very much for meeting with me this evening. This has been great. I really enjoyed chatting with you. So everybody that's watching this, please check out in the description below. There are links to both Witchery's pages and Necrocraft's pages. So you'll definitely want to, very cool. Yeah, you'll want to check this stuff out. There's some, if you have not listened to Necrocraft, and especially if you like atmospheric, black and thrash death stuff, you'll love it. It's phenomenal. I really enjoy, especially the last album, Servant. It's great. Pick that up. So thank you again. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, man.